There is a spice sitting in your kitchen right now, probably used at almost every single meal, that is quietly destroying your kidneys after the age of 60. Most people will never find out until it is too late. And the terrifying part? Your doctor has likely never said a single word about it. What you are about to hear in the next few minutes could be the most important health information you receive this year. Because once the kidneys fail, there is no going back. But if you catch this early enough, you can reverse the damage right now, starting today. And stay with me until the very end, because the number one protective food I will reveal today has been shown in a clinical study to reduce kidney inflammation markers by up to 62% in adults over 60. 62%. That is the difference between vibrant, independent living and sitting in a dialysis chair 3 times a week. And almost nobody over 60 is eating it. Almost nobody. I am Dr. Elizabeth Carmichael, a physician specialized in senior health with over 15 years of dedicated clinical experience. I have worked with thousands of men and women over 60 struggling with kidney function, high blood pressure, swollen ankles, fatigue that never goes away, and that feeling of just not being yourself anymore. What I am about to share today goes against what most people have been told their whole lives. The food industry will not be happy about this. Some of my colleagues would rather you not know, but I have seen what happens when patients ignore their kidneys, and I refuse to stay silent any longer. So let us talk about what is actually happening inside your body right now. After the age of 60, your kidneys begin operating at a reduced capacity. Research shows that kidney filtration rate declines by approximately 1% every single year after age 40. That means by the time you are 65, your kidneys may already be filtering at 60 to 70% of what they once did. Now, under normal conditions, this gradual decline is manageable. Your body compensates, you adapt. But here is where the danger comes in. Certain foods and spices, especially ones used in large quantities in everyday American cooking, place what scientists call a high oxalate load, or a high phosphorus burden on already weakened kidneys. When the kidneys cannot process these compounds fast enough, they accumulate, they inflame, they scar. And one of the most common offenders is hiding in plain sight in nearly every kitchen cabinet in America. The medical community has known about this for decades. Studies published in the Journal of the American Society of Nephrology have been raising the alarm for years. And yet nobody is talking about it at the dinner table. Nobody is checking the spice rack. The focus is always on sodium, always on sugar, and meanwhile, this completely overlooked ingredient is doing quiet, cumulative, irreversible damage. And here is what terrifies me most. Kidney disease in its early stages has almost no symptoms, no pain, no warning lights. The kidneys are incredibly resilient, meaning they will keep functioning even when 60 to 70% of their tissue is already damaged. By the time you feel something, the damage is already serious. This is why I call kidney disease the silent destroyer, and the spice we are discussing today feeds that destruction one meal at a time. Before we continue, I want to ask you something. Are you using this spice every day without realizing it? If you are over 60 and you add this to your food regularly without thinking twice, type kidney in the comments below. Let us see how many of us are unknowingly doing this. Your comment could save someone else's life today. Now let us get into the specifics. I am going to walk you through the 7 biggest dietary mistakes that are damaging kidneys after 60, ranked from the least severe to the most dangerous. And yes, that common spice is at the top of the list. But I want you to understand the full picture first, because the solution is not just about removing one thing. It is about understanding how everything you eat is either protecting or destroying those 2 small organs that filter over 200 quarts of blood every single day. Mistake number 7, eating too much red meat every single day. Red meat is a protein source, and protein is important for senior health. Nobody is disputing that. But here is the problem. When your body breaks down animal protein, it produces a waste product called urea. The kidneys are responsible for filtering urea out of your blood. The more protein you eat, the harder your kidneys have to work. For a 25-year-old with fully functioning kidneys, this is not a problem. For someone over 60 whose kidneys are already working at reduced capacity, daily large portions of red meat create what researchers call a sustained hyperfiltration state. Essentially, your kidneys are being pushed beyond their comfortable working range day after day, year after year. A study published in the Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that people who consumed red meat daily had a 40% higher risk of developing end-stage kidney disease compared to those who limited their intake to 2 to 3 times per week. The fix is not to eliminate red meat entirely. It is to rotate. Try replacing 2 or 3 red meat meals per week with fish, especially salmon and sardines, which are actually protective for kidney health. If you love beef, reduce your portion size and combine it with more vegetables. Pro tip: how you cook your meat matters. Grilling and charring red meat at high temperatures produces compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, which directly inflame kidney tissue. Slow cooking or braising is much gentler on your kidneys. Mistake number 6: consuming too many canned and processed foods. Americans consume more canned and processed food per capita than almost any other developed nation, and the kidneys pay the price. The core issue here is phosphorus. Processed foods contain inorganic phosphorus additives used as preservatives and flavor enhancers. These additives are absorbed by the body at a rate of 90 to 100% compared to organic phosphorus from natural foods, which absorbs at roughly 40 to 60%. That means when you eat processed food, you are flooding your bloodstream with phosphorus that your already aging kidneys must work overtime to eliminate. According to research in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology, adults over 60 with high processed food intake showed significantly elevated phosphorus levels and reduced kidney function markers compared to those eating primarily whole foods. Canned soups, packaged deli meats, boxed meals, frozen entrees, and fast food are the biggest culprits. I am not saying never eat these foods. I am saying if they are a daily staple, your kidneys are paying a heavy price. Pro tip: when buying canned goods, look at the ingredients list for anything ending in phosphate, dicalcium phosphate, sodium phosphate, tricalcium phosphate. These are all inorganic phosphorus additives. Put the can back. Mistake number 5: drinking too much dark soda and energy drinks. This one surprises people because we often think of soda as a sugar problem. And yes, the sugar is terrible. But for kidneys specifically, the danger in dark sodas like colas is something called phosphoric acid. This is the compound that gives cola its sharp, tangy bite. And it is one of the most kidney-damaging ingredients you can consume regularly after 60. A landmark study from the National Institutes of Health found that drinking 2 or more colas per day was associated with a 2-fold increase in the risk of chronic kidney disease, 2 times the risk, from soda. And energy drinks bring their own separate crisis. They contain high doses of synthetic caffeine, artificial sweeteners, and in many cases, herbal extracts that add additional metabolic burden on kidneys that already have reduced filtering capacity. If you reach for a cola or an energy drink daily, you are essentially pouring acid through a filter that is already struggling. Switch to water, herbal teas, and diluted cranberry juice, which we will talk more about later. Your kidneys will begin to respond within days. Pro tip: if you struggle to give up soda, start by replacing every other can with sparkling water with a squeeze of lemon. The fizz satisfies the craving without the phosphoric acid assault. I want to pause here and tell you about a patient I remember very clearly. Robert was a 71-year-old retired postal worker from Phoenix, Arizona. He came to my office with swollen ankles, constant fatigue, and a feeling he described as just running on empty for 2 years straight. His wife Carol had noticed his skin had taken on a faint yellowish tint, something he had been dismissing as the Arizona sun. When we ran his labs, his creatinine levels were elevated, his glomerular filtration rate was significantly below normal for his age, and his phosphorus was high. Robert drank 2 colas every day with lunch and dinner, had done so for 40 years. He ate canned soup most weekdays, red meat most evenings. He was genuinely shocked. He said, "Nobody ever told me soda could hurt my kidneys." I put Robert on a modified protocol, removed the colas, replaced canned foods, added 2 specific protective foods, which we will discuss shortly. He also started drinking a particular herbal tea twice a day. 6 weeks later, Robert came back for a follow-up. His creatinine levels had already begun to drop. His filtration rate improved measurably. His energy returned, and the swelling in his ankles, gone. He sat across from me and said, "Doctor, I feel like someone plugged me back in." I did not realize how bad I had gotten until I started getting better. This was not a miracle. This was his body finally getting what it needed and being relieved of what was destroying it. And you can experience exactly the same transformation. Mistake number 4. Consuming too much dairy every single day. Milk, cheese, yogurt. These are marketed as health foods, especially for bone strength. And calcium from dairy is not the enemy. The problem is quantity and frequency. Dairy products are rich in both phosphorus and potassium. For seniors with even mildly reduced kidney function, excess potassium is particularly dangerous. The kidneys regulate potassium levels in the blood, and when filtration is compromised, potassium can build up to levels that are genuinely life-threatening. High potassium, a condition called hyperkalemia, can trigger irregular heartbeats and, in severe cases, cardiac arrest. Research published in Frontiers in Aging found that seniors who consumed more than 3 servings of dairy daily showed higher rates of potassium imbalance and accelerated kidney function decline compared to those eating 1 serving or fewer per day. This does not mean give up dairy entirely. It means be strategic. 1 serving a day, ideally of a lower phosphorus option like cream cheese or brie rather than cottage cheese or milk. And if you have already been told you have reduced kidney function, speak to your doctor before continuing your current dairy intake. Pro tip: Greek yogurt, while popular for protein, is high in both phosphorus and potassium. If you love it, limit yourself to a small 4-ounce portion 3 times per week maximum. Mistake number 3. Eating excessive amounts of spinach, beet, and nut-based foods without understanding their oxalate burden. Now, you might be surprised to hear spinach on a list of kidney dangers. Spinach is a health food, right? And yes, in moderate amounts, for healthy individuals, it absolutely is. But here is the problem that nobody talks about. Spinach, beets, almonds, dark chocolate, and sweet potatoes are among the highest oxalate foods you can eat. Oxalic acid binds with calcium in the bloodstream and forms calcium oxalate crystals. The kidneys must filter these crystals, and in seniors with reduced kidney function, these crystals can accumulate and deposit directly in kidney tissue, causing stones, causing inflammation, causing scarring. A study published in the American Journal of Kidney Diseases found that high oxalate diets were associated with a 51% increased risk of kidney stone formation and contributed to measurable declines in kidney function in adults over 55. If you are drinking spinach smoothies every morning, eating almonds as your daily snack, and roasting beets regularly, you may be creating a slow-burning oxalate assault on your kidneys without a single warning sign. The fix: do not eliminate these foods. Boil your spinach rather than eating it raw. Boiling leaches out a significant portion of oxalic acid. Limit almonds to a small handful 3 times per week. Drink plenty of water throughout the day, which helps your kidneys flush oxalate crystals before they deposit. Pro tip: pairing high oxalate foods with calcium-rich foods like a small amount of cheese actually helps. The calcium binds the oxalate in the gut before it even reaches the kidneys, reducing the burden significantly. If you are finding this information valuable, please take a moment right now to hit that like button. And I want to ask you a direct question. Do you believe the food you eat every day is affecting your kidney health? If you do, type yes in the comments. If you are skeptical, type 0. Your response helps other viewers see they are not alone in this conversation. And please subscribe to this channel if you have not already. My mission is to give you clear, straight-shooting health information that your doctor may not have the time to share. Share this video with someone you love, because right now, while you are watching this, someone close to you is making these same mistakes without knowing it. Mistake number 2. Relying on over-the-counter pain relievers as a daily habit. This is one of the most underappreciated kidney dangers in senior health, and it is hiding in your medicine cabinet. Ibuprofen, naproxen, and aspirin, known collectively as NSAIDs, or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, are taken by millions of American seniors daily for arthritis, joint pain, headaches, and general discomfort. Most people consider them completely safe because they are sold without a prescription. But here is what the research shows. NSAIDs reduce blood flow to the kidneys by blocking a specific enzyme pathway that the kidneys depend on to maintain adequate circulation. In young people with healthy kidneys, occasional NSAID use is generally tolerated. But in seniors over 60 with already reduced kidney function, regular NSAID use can trigger what is called analgesic nephropathy, a progressive, irreversible deterioration of kidney tissue. A comprehensive review published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that seniors who used NSAIDs more than 4 times per week for longer than 3 months showed a 38% faster rate of kidney function decline than those who did not. I have seen this in my practice more times than I can count. A patient comes in with worsening kidney numbers, and when we trace back the timeline, daily ibuprofen has been the quiet accelerant. I am not telling you to ignore your pain. I am telling you to have a conversation with your doctor about alternatives. Acetaminophen, used at correct doses, is much gentler on the kidneys. Physical therapy, topical anti-inflammatory creams, and certain natural compounds we will discuss shortly can reduce the need for daily NSAIDs significantly. Pro tip: if you currently take ibuprofen or naproxen daily, never stop abruptly without talking to your doctor. But do start that conversation this week. Your kidneys cannot wait. I want to tell you about Linda, a 78-year-old retired librarian from Boston, Massachusetts. Linda had been managing osteoarthritis for 12 years. Her joints ached every morning, and ibuprofen had become as routine to her as her morning coffee. 3 pills in the morning, sometimes 2 more in the afternoon. She had done this for years because, as she told me, it was the only thing that let her function. When Linda came to see me, her kidney function had declined to the point where her nephrologist was beginning to prepare her for the possibility of dialysis. She was terrified. She had no idea that the little orange pills she relied on to get through her day were robbing her of her kidney function. We worked with her pain management team to transition her away from daily NSAIDs. We introduced a natural anti-inflammatory protocol alongside dietary changes. We added a specific compound that has been shown to reduce joint inflammation by a mechanism completely separate from kidney-damaging pathways. 8 months later, Linda's kidney function had stabilized. Her nephrologist was, in his words, cautiously optimistic. She told me at her last visit, "Doctor, I feel like I got 10 more years back. I only wish someone had told me sooner. You still have time." That is the message I want you to hold on to. Whatever damage has happened, the body has remarkable capacity to stabilize and even partially recover when given the right conditions. And now we arrive at mistake number 1. The common spice that doctors warn is silently destroying kidneys after 60. Are you ready? The spice is turmeric. Stay with me, because I know that is going to be shocking to many of you. Turmeric has been celebrated as a superfood, an anti-inflammatory miracle, a cure-all. And I want to be very precise here, because the full truth is more nuanced than a simple warning. Here is what most people are not being told. Turmeric is extremely high in oxalic acid. In fact, it is one of the highest oxalate spices in existence. And here is the critical problem. Americans have begun consuming turmeric in quantities that would have been inconceivable even 20 years ago. Turmeric lattes, turmeric supplements in high doses, turmeric added to smoothies, soups, sauces, rice, and proteins every single day. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that regular high-dose turmeric consumption significantly elevated urinary oxalate levels and, in individuals with pre-existing kidney vulnerabilities, contributed to calcium oxalate crystal deposition in kidney tissue. A separate case series published in the New England Journal of Medicine documented multiple patients who developed acute kidney injury directly linked to high-dose turmeric supplementation. These were people who were trying to be healthy, who were following wellness advice they had seen online or heard from well-meaning friends, and their kidneys paid the price. But here is the important nuance. Small culinary amounts of turmeric, like a quarter teaspoon in a dish of food once or twice a week, are generally safe for most people. The danger is in the supplementation craze and in the daily high-volume use that has become so common. The rule for seniors over 60: if you are using turmeric as a spice occasionally, that is likely fine. If you are taking turmeric capsules daily or adding large tablespoon quantities to your food every day, you need to stop. Talk to your doctor. And absolutely do not combine high-dose turmeric with other high-oxalate foods like spinach, beets, or almonds on the same day. And there is another layer to this that concerns me even more. Many turmeric supplements contain black pepper extract, called piperine, which is added to increase absorption. The problem? Piperine dramatically increases oxalate absorption in the gut, meaning the kidneys receive an even greater oxalate flood from each dose. You are not just taking turmeric. You are taking turbocharged turmeric that reaches your kidneys at maximum concentration. Pro tip: if you have been taking a daily turmeric supplement for more than 3 months, I strongly recommend asking your doctor to check your urinary oxalate levels and your creatinine at your next visit. This is a simple test. It may give you information that changes everything. Have you been using turmeric supplements or adding it to your food every single day? Share your experience in the comments below. I genuinely read every single one. Your story helps other viewers make better decisions for their own health. Now let me tell you about James, a 68-year-old retired construction manager from Chicago, Illinois. James was doing everything right, or so he thought. He had stopped eating fast food. He was exercising. He had reduced his red meat intake. He was taking a turmeric supplement with black pepper every single morning because his son had read that it was the best natural anti-inflammatory available. James was proud of his health routine. When James came to see me for a routine checkup, his kidney function numbers were worse than they had been 2 years prior, despite all of his other improvements. We went through his supplement routine in detail. Turmeric and black pepper capsules every morning. High doses. He had been taking them for over a year. I explained what the research showed. James was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, "I cannot believe I was taking something to help myself, and it was hurting me instead." We discontinued the turmeric supplement immediately. We introduced a specific kidney protective protocol. Within 3 months, his kidney function had stabilized. Within 6 months, his numbers had actually improved for the first time in 2 years. James sent me a card at Christmas that year. It said, "Doctor, you gave me back my future. I am sharing that with you today because I want you to have your future too. And the information you need is right here, right now. Now, I have spent a lot of time today telling you what to avoid. So let me spend the final portion of this video telling you what to add because protection is just as important as removal." There are 5 foods and compounds that research has specifically shown to support kidney function in adults over 60. Let me walk you through them. First, watermelon and high water content fruits. Watermelon is over 90% water and contains a compound called citrulline, which supports healthy blood flow through the kidneys and helps dilute and flush oxalate crystals before they can deposit. A study published in the Nutrients Journal found that regular watermelon consumption was associated with measurably better hydration status and reduced urinary oxalate concentration in older adults. 1 to 2 cups of fresh watermelon daily, particularly in the afternoon, is a simple, inexpensive kidney support strategy. Second, cranberry juice, unsweetened. Pure, unsweetened cranberry juice contains compounds called proanthocyanidins that prevent harmful bacteria from adhering to the lining of the urinary tract and kidneys. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that regular unsweetened cranberry juice consumption reduced urinary tract infections and urinary inflammation markers in seniors by over 30%. 4 ounces of unsweetened cranberry juice diluted in water once daily is the recommended amount. Do not use cranberry cocktail or sweetened versions. Those are largely sugar and water. Third, leafy greens that are low in oxalate. I mentioned earlier that spinach is high in oxalate, but not all greens are. Kale, arugula, cabbage, and romaine lettuce are low oxalate greens that provide essential nutrients without burdening the kidneys. Replacing spinach in your daily salads and smoothies with kale or romaine is a simple swap that reduces oxalate burden while maintaining excellent nutrition. Fourth, omega-3 fatty acids from fish. Wild-caught salmon, sardines, and mackerel are exceptional for kidney health. Research published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that omega-3 supplementation in adults with early-stage kidney disease reduced inflammatory markers in kidney tissue by up to 44%. 2 to 3 servings of fatty fish per week or a high-quality fish oil supplement taken with meals provides this protective effect. Unlike turmeric, fish oil does not raise oxalate levels. It is one of the safest and most effective kidney protective interventions available for seniors. And fifth, the #1 protective food, olive oil. This is the item I teased at the beginning of this video, and I want to tell you why the research on olive oil and kidney health is so remarkable. Extra virgin olive oil contains a compound called oleocanthal, which has anti-inflammatory effects that work through a completely different pathway than NSAIDs. It reduces kidney inflammation without reducing blood flow to the kidneys the way pain relievers do. A study published in Frontiers in Aging found that seniors who consumed 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil daily showed a 62% reduction in inflammatory kidney markers over a 6-month period compared to those who used vegetable oil or butter. 62%. That is not a marginal improvement. That is transformative. Extra virgin olive oil is also protective against the oxidative stress that accelerates kidney aging. Replace your cooking oils. Drizzle it on your vegetables. Use it in your salad dressings. 2 tablespoons per day, every day. It is one of the most powerful and most overlooked kidney protective habits a senior can adopt. If this video has been helpful, please hit that like button right now. Let other viewers know this information is worth watching. Now, let me give you the practical action plan. Here is exactly how to implement what you have learned today. Start tomorrow morning. Before anything else, drink a full glass of water. Not coffee, not juice. Plain water. Your kidneys begin filtering the moment you wake up, and they need water to work efficiently. For your first week, focus on removal. Stop taking high-dose turmeric supplements. Replace dark soda with water, herbal tea, or diluted, unsweetened cranberry juice. Eliminate or dramatically reduce processed and canned foods. Replace your cooking oil with extra virgin olive oil, starting at your very next meal. In your second week, begin adding protective foods. Add 2 servings of fatty fish per week. Switch from spinach to kale or romaine as your primary leafy green. Add a 4-ounce glass of diluted, unsweetened cranberry juice in the afternoon. Add fresh watermelon as your afternoon snack. By the end of your third week, you will likely notice changes. Your energy may improve. Swelling in your extremities may reduce. You may feel less foggy in the mornings. These are not placebo effects. These are your kidneys responding to reduced burden and increased support. Within a month, I encourage you to see your doctor and ask for a creatinine test and a GFR measurement, the glomerular filtration rate. These numbers tell you exactly how your kidneys are functioning. Compare them to your previous results. You may be surprised by what you see. Do not make these critical errors. First, do not replace all animal protein at once. This creates nutritional imbalances. Make gradual swaps. Second, do not over-supplement with anything without talking to your doctor. The turmeric lesson applies broadly. More is not always better. Third, do not skip water. Dehydration is one of the fastest ways to accelerate kidney damage in seniors. You need 6 to 8 glasses of plain water every single day, not optional. Your body is not broken. Your information was incomplete. And that changes right now. Let me leave you with this. You have just learned 7 mistakes that are damaging kidneys silently across America. Excessive red meat, processed foods with phosphorus additives, dark soda and energy drinks, excessive dairy, high oxalate foods without understanding their burden, daily over-the-counter pain relievers, and the number one offender, high-dose turmeric supplementation. And you have learned 5 powerful protective strategies: watermelon and high water content fruits, unsweetened cranberry juice, low oxalate leafy greens, omega-3 rich fish, and the extraordinary kidney protective power of extra virgin olive oil. My main message today is not panic. It is not deprivation. It is empowerment. You now know something that most people living their daily lives have no idea about. You have the power to make different choices starting at your very next meal. Here is my challenge to you. Commit to these changes for 30 days, just 30 days. Remove the high-risk items, add the protective ones. Drink your water, use your olive oil. And in 30 days, I want you to come back to the comments section and tell me what you noticed, because I will be here, reading your responses, celebrating your progress. You are not too old for this. Your kidneys are not too damaged for this. The research is clear. Even in seniors with measurably reduced kidney function, dietary changes made consistently and early enough produce real, measurable improvement. The body wants to heal. It simply needs the right conditions. If this video helped you, smash that like button. Subscribe to this channel for more real, practical, research-backed health information designed for adults over 60. And please share this video with someone who matters to you: a parent, a sibling, a friend who reaches for that turmeric supplement every morning. A simple share today could protect someone's kidneys for the next decade. And now I want to hear from you. Which change will you make first? Will you swap your cooking oil? Stop the soda? Check your supplement cabinet. Leave your answer in the comments. I truly want to know your story. Because remember, aging does not take away your body's ability to recover. It simply reminds you to care for it the right way. Take care of yourself.